What's up, everybody? Welcome to part 3 of the Dig In Digital Influence series we've been crushing through in September. Now, as a recap, before we get into the when and how to post and all that fun stuff and how often to post, we got to go back and just do a quick little review. Let's just get some tunes going. Need some energy. Beginning with part 1, all right? So in part 1, we talked about where to start posting, like Facebook, LinkedIn, kind of the big brands, and kind of like what their platforms are and what their voices are and where the people are. You hear this joke from me all the time. Go where the people are. If you want digital influence, which means you want leads, you want opportunity, you want loans, you got to go hang out where the people are, and they're online. Next, we talked about what to do when you got there, right? And this is a very important conversation because it's not just about putting out videos and saying, posting your. If I see one more social survey post about your great Yelp review, I'm going to puke. Like, stop that. Like, that's not the game, right? The game is identifying who you want to connect with, past clients, realtors, connecting with them, sending them a personal message, being like, hey, we did your loan a year ago. Should we hang out? And then at the end of that, engage, hang out like a normal person. At a networking event, you don't just sit in the corner and yell about your Yelp review. You just talk to people. You ask them what they're into, what they're interested in, all that fun stuff. This was the ICE program we broke down in part 1, and part 2 was the what. So a lot of you guys committed in part 1 of September to adding more people online. And I've gotten some DMs from people who have added like 50, 60. One guy added 100 new people to his digital network, his digital community since the beginning of September. So if you've knocked through, what's up, Pam? If you're in the zone where you're adding like 5 to 10 people a week into your digital ecosystem, let me know. Put it in the comments. Let me know how many you've got so far this month. That's the game. You can't have an audience if you don't have a community. Your videos don't mean anything if you're just tweeting out and your mom's retweeting. Like, that doesn't work. And no one wants to hear about you, and they want to hear about them. And that's the engage part. In week 2, if you guys stuck with the challenge last week, it was the what do I say part. I hope that I debunked a bunch of your like excuses that there's nothing to say. There's literally everything to say. There's so many things to say. And so I really want, yes, Pam, 40 new contacts. The next challenge in week 2 last week was to start on a Google Drive doc or a Google Excel doc or whatever you want to do and start to put down topics, right? And we broke it down from first-time home buyer and all the topics that are there, from investment property, all the topics that are there, reno loans, FHA, VA. There's so many topics. But we really talked about you have to be passionate about it. You have to have a purpose. You have to be fired up to get your digital influence. And that's part of the game. So Today, we're going to talk about when and how much to post. Yeah, Carl. When and how much to post. This is the one that it's there. So look, I'm not joking. If you spent any time at all doing the work I asked you to do last week, then you probably have 50 plus pieces of content, topic ideas written down on a Google Doc. That's incredible. If you got 52, you have 1 video a week you can start talking about. This is unbelievable. Now, let's talk about frequency, when and how much, because I get this excuse all the time. And the excuse is, I hate the people that post all the time. I just don't like it. It's annoying. And all they do is posting and it's just garbage. What you hate, what you dislike about that person is their content message, their why. You're seeing through it. You're seeing through to the core of what they're really trying to do. If it's all about them, if they're not passionate, if they're not exciting, doesn't matter how produced the content is. It really comes down to you're seeing in them something that you dislike. Inauthenticity is another great word. But before we talk about how to really fire up your game and when and how, I have to take you through this process. Who remembers prospecting realtors? Everybody should be like, I know what you're talking about. And here's how did you do it? What was the game? Right? What was the game? If you wanted a lead from then, I like to call it an opportunity. If you wanted like an at-bat with a customer, how did you get that opportunity back in the day? Or even today when blurry. Even today, if you're prospecting realtors, how did you get the opportunity? Does anyone want to take a guess? I guarantee you didn't walk into an open house the first time you met an agent and was like, hey, I'm here. Thank God. Got any customers for me? Yeah, just awesome. I'll take the customers. And just immediately like got a lead. No, of course not. No, you didn't. What did you do to earn an opportunity? Because see, the reality, we're going to jump here. You need this, don't you? From anybody, from a realtor, from a customer, you need trust. You feel me on this, my people? You need trust. You're not going to get any opportunity. You have no digital influence if you don't have trust. No one's going to call you and go like, can you do my loan or look at my situation or help my parents unless you have this. But when you're going after a real estate professional back in the glory days or even today, and you're saying, hey, give me a deal, and you don't have this, how do you build this? How do you build this? There's only one way I know. There's only one way I know, and it's through, not that, don't jump ahead. It's through consistency. It's through consistency, people. It's through consistency. Yeah, Pam, exactly. How do you build relationships with anybody? Consistency. Showing up again and again and again and again. I mean, I'll describe for you what my prospecting strategy was with agents. Thursday was broker preview. I'd go to broker preview. I had a list of the top 100 agents in my market. I'd go see all of them that were out that day. I normally could get to 8. That was kind of my target because I'd spend time. I'd talk to them. 8 was my target. So Thursdays, I'd go hit 8. Fridays, I'd go hit 8. If it's the same agents, the same top ones, I'd go back to their new listing. Saturdays and Sundays, open houses, the same. I'd go after my top agents. If they were out on open house, holding an open house, I'd go in there. And if there was a title rep sitting in the open house, I didn't care because I wanted that title rep to be like, dude, Alec is everywhere. He just keeps showing up. He's just here to build relationships. Every time, I don't care if I was puking, I'd puke and then I'd breath mint and run in there and say hi and let them know that I was working. I had them on a monthly drip. They all got things in the mail from me every month, telling my story, showing up. I used to hear all the time, Alec, I see you everywhere. And I built relationships. Even agents that didn't necessarily connect to me or like me respected the hustle. And when I was written in on a deal or I got a deal coming through, they wouldn't kick me off it if they were like the listing agent. They'd be like, I don't for anybody. I liked Alec. I don't like him that much. But man, the guy hustles. He works hard. I know he'll close this loan. Consistency. This is the game. Now, I said all of this because here's the deal. Consistency builds trust. What can we learn from what all the organizations of the world in marketing are doing today? Look at TV commercials, digital ads, billboards, radios, banner ads, YouTube video, retargeting, etc. What's happening? They're punching you in the face with the same message, aren't they? National commercials are reruns of the same commercial. Every single time you see that Geico commercial, it's the same one from the time before. And yes, they change it in seasons, but like they run a commercial over and over and over and over again to beat it into your brain because they know what? What do they know? What do these geniuses know that run all this stuff? Multi-million-dollar industries, billion-dollar industries. What do they know? They know that just because they put a commercial on during The Bachelor doesn't mean you got stoked and you sat there and watched it. They're creating headspace. They're creating a brand image. They're coming into your brain. Billboards on the freeway. They're the static images. I know there's digital ads now, just digital billboards, just shut up. But like static images, just why? Because they know you're going to drive by it every day. They know you're going to see it every day. Do they think you're going to stare at it? No, they know that. You're driving. But they're planting it in your brain. And yet you're like, well, I can't repeat my video that I did yesterday because if I'm talking about first time home buying again, like it's boring. It's the same thing. They didn't listen the first time. You have unlimited opportunity to repeat content. And I don't mean like replay the same video, but I mean talk about the same things you're passionate about over and over and over again. I made a joke in my 100 videos in 100 days. Like, I wonder if I would just like actually repeat a topic verbatim and see who would notice. Nobody, because nobody sat down except for some crazy people who, I love you crazy people, who watched all 100. I know this. I very much know this. What happened is you saw my face on the screen with a topic and you scrolled by or you listened for 2 seconds or you maybe hit a like because you're nice. And that was all you did. That was your engagement. Remember we talked about last time? 80% of the people who view your content don't comment or like. They just kind of let it kind of come through. So when you come to the question of how often should I post? When should I post? I'm going to tell you all the time. Now, your insecurity might be bubbling up and be like, I don't like people who post all the time. Well, then your message sucks and you're not passionate about it. Let me say that again for those in the back. If you don't want to post all the time, share your message, be on video, share your content, then your message sucks and you aren't passionate about it. Then go find something you're passionate about and do that. This is the game. Share what makes you look, my friends. And Cassie, I got your question. I got you. I got your comment here. I'm gonna get there. Look at this. This is the game. This is where you live now. This is your game. So if you live here now, and then you just you show up through people's feeds, and you show up and you're hustling and you're excited and you have good energy and the video's on, the lights are on, I can see your face and the camera's loud, then you're winning. You're winning over time. How many of you right now would say, Alec, I see you freaking everywhere. Can you just stop? Like, I see you everywhere. And people block me and they mute me. Do you know why? Because I'm not their cup of tea. Let me say that in a different way. By the way, if this is resonating with you, let me know. Let me say it a different way. When I was hyper prospecting and seeing an agent on weekends, on Mondays, on Tuesdays, and mailing them stuff and emailing them stuff and now with social media, it weeds out naturally the people that you don't want to work with anyway. Do you feel that? Like, the ones that hate you will mute you and move on. You are going to self-curate your audience, but you have to keep growing it. You got to go back to part one and never stop. Always grow your community. Always be engaging. Always be sharing. And then when you light the world on fire with your content, you get to play in a digital influence space. So the question I have for you that you need to answer when I talk about when and how much should I be posting all the frickin' time. And if you're like, I don't know what to post, go back to the what? Go back. Repeat your topics. I say this all the time, but someone's going to hear it maybe now for the first time because I get to repeat my content because no one really listens in the first time, right? Like, it has to hit them 6 or 7 times. Picture in your brain that single mother, first-time home buyer, never thought she could buy a home for her kid or kids. And you come in, you consult, you share, you show them down payment assistance options, and you get that person in their first home. Can you feel it? Make content about that. What about the disabled veteran that you can showcase and share a VA renovation loan as soon as VA gets off their back and lets us do those again? And you get to put a disabled veteran in a home and make it handicap accessible. Just feel that and make a video about that. And do it every day. You're in this business to help people. I know it. I know it deep down. You're not transactional. You're here to actually make an impact with other humans. Make a video about that. And I know when I say when and how, I'm huge on video because this is the way you make human connection. I'm just get in here, get into my space. Like, this is how you make human connection these days. Yes, we can do it physically. Yes, we'll be able to do it physically more as time and COVID release. But right now we're here, and you're proving it, Cassie. Look at this. I have 3 agents that have sent me business that I have never physically met. They have only connected with me on Facebook. Now, imagine the power of this when you can finally go hang out. That's the 1-2 punch. That's physical and the digital working together. That's the quick and buster. That's how you beat everybody else as you play the big game on both places. So here's my challenge for you. If you're following part 1 of digital influence, then you have set up a routine every week to continually add 5 to 10 new people into your digital audience, into your digital community every single week. This has now become a habit. This has now become what you do now. You're also spending some of your time on social media, being a human in this environment and talking to people, encouraging people, sharing stories, laughing, being a part of someone's life online. And if you're doing that, and the next piece is you got to spend time on what really wakes you up in the morning. What do you care about? Why are you here? And then film it. Talk about it. Write about it if that inspires you. Do blog posts about it. Do LinkedIn articles about it. But just get in the game with this stuff. I was talking to a loan officer and we were collaborating and works in another company, and we were just kind of brainstorming, and I've met a lot of amazing people through me doing this stuff, and now I'm loving it. I'm proving it to myself because I'm doing it and I'm seeing it and hanging out with people. And I'm like, hey, instead of a drip mailer, a crappy drip mailer, what if you get all your content moving, 1 video a week? That's not that hard. We can do 1 video a week. Carve time, make it a priority because this is what it is. It's sales and marketing 2.0. Welcome to the future. And let's say you did 4 videos a week. What if you just repackaged those videos, took them off YouTube, scratched them up, put them in a newsletter, sent that out digitally to your customers, to your past customers, instead of grandma's cookie recipe or the drip campaign from your company that sucks? Why don't you just do that? Share your personal stuff. Maybe they'll forward it on. Maybe it'll be a video you did on first-time homebuyers and down payment assistance and VA, and you send that out, and you're like, hey, here's my content this week. If it can help anybody, forward it around. If it can help you, call me. Maybe it's now time for you to call me. Do you think all your past, even if you were diligent and you added every single past customer and every single realtor into your Facebook account, right? All of them. Do you think that when you post a video on down payment assistance or a new product or something you're excited about, that every single one of those people are going to see it? Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. So you can repackage it and email it to them later and say like, hey, you might have missed this. Here's some more stuff for you. Check it out. This is what I'm passionate about right now. This is what's cooking. This is the game, my friends. When should you post all the time? How you should use video. Leverage video. You have to. You have to. Because I want them to see your beautiful face and I want them to connect with you emotionally. I want them to feel what you're feeling when you're passionate about helping people and saving people money. I mean, think about the family that you can take out of crippling credit card debt and reposition them and save. I saw a family that saved $1,500 a month, dumped all their credit cards, and their payment went up like $200. They were like, "You've saved us. This debt was. I never thought I could get out from under it, and you did that. That's the jam." But I'm busy, but it's hard. But I don't know. I don't like how I look and sound, and all your excuses are garbage. Like, go back. Prospecting agents. Did you go meet them face to face? Yeah. Yeah, you did. There's nothing different. Like you had to walk in there and talk to them. You meet with the customers face to face. Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, nothing's different. You're amazing. Get in the space and post all the time. I'm a big fan of lives. I'm a big fan. I'm live right now. Why am I a big fan of lives? Number one, you get like this is kind of a like the low reason is you get some help from the platforms. LinkedIn is helping me right now because I'm live. If you saw it on LinkedIn, it like popped. You maybe said a little notification that says like Alec is live. Like it's helping me get you to look at me. And also the biggest reason is I can't hide. My kids are right in my garage back there. I can hear them wrestling around. If they decide to come in here and knock my green screen down and tackle me, it's going to happen, and you're all going to experience it. So you know that, and that's part of what the magic of live. Like if I fumble what I say, I have to pause and re-say something. I can't hide. I can't overproduce this. I can't hide. I think you should go live. Why? People love that crap. They love it. They love it. They want to see you mess up. They just want to engage with a real human. They just want to see a real human. And I think you should do produced content. I think you should absolutely make content intentional with a message and make it pretty and add music and do some overlays and do some stuff that gives you happiness, but don't do it because don't not make videos because you're feeling like it has to be overproduced. Mikey, how much is too much? You'll never know how much is too much. And I would say if you're even asking that question, then what you think you have to say, you don't really think it matters. Like you're insecure about your message. I'm not saying you are, Mikey, but like if you're like, oh, how much is too much? You're not paying attention. Hang out with the people. You either think your message sucks and you're insecure about it. That's another thing. But you have to remind yourself. We talked about it in part 2 of like what to say. What burns inside here that lights you on fire, that gives you a reason to show up every day. And sometimes you have to go find that. And Pam, this is a tactical question, but there's like tools, right? So I found a tool called StreamYard. I'm using it right now, and it multi-streams to a lot of different channels. I'm on Twitter right now, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Facebook. I'm on my business page and my personal page. There's tools. And the fun part about this game is in digital influence or digital community building is as you step in, you get better. You find tips and tricks. You find tools. You ask people like, how do I do that? And people are like, you do it like this, or you use the magic of the Google. How do I do this? So it's all right there. It just tells you. Let me recap, my friends, and we'll kind of wrap down. Dude, you guys have been rad today. This has been super fun. Thank you for joining me today. If you have a question, I'm happy to answer it after I recap here. Part 1, which is where do I play digitally? We started with Facebook and LinkedIn because of the easiest platforms to understand, the easiest language to understand. And when I make a connection to you and you accept, we are now connected. On other platforms like Twitter and Instagram, TikTok, I make a connection to you. You're not going to see my stuff. We're not connected. It's a one-way street. They have to find you and connect back to you. Different strategies there. But look, start on Facebook, baby, and LinkedIn, right? And then what do I do once I'm there? We talked about the ICE strategy. Identify, connect, and engage. Identify who do you want to have in your digital community: past customers, realtors, influencers, community builders, politicians, local restaurateurs, entrepreneurs around you, like all the people you want to do loans for, right? Those people. And then set up a strategy to connect with a specific number every week. Grow, 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 and carve out time every week to actually be a human being on those platforms and say hi. Think of it as a networking meeting. Go network. How often should you be networking? It's like all the freaking time. Go network all the time. Build relationships all the time. That was part 1. If you missed it, it's on the website, alechanson.com. Dig in. Part 2, what do I say? And don't be weird. There's so much to say. It's crazy. There's literally unlimited topics, and you get to repeat topics because not everyone just pauses and is like, holy crap, you're live. Let me go watch this. They don't do that. They watch it on their time when it matters to them. And those you're carving time for me right now. I love you. There's literally unlimited topics to talk about. And yeah, Pam, get help. Ask people. Like, you're not alone. Be like, what should be good? Ask your friends and family. Ask your past customers. Ask your realtors. What do they want to hear about? Ask. Go to Google and say, what are the most common mortgage questions being asked in 2020? And then talk about those. Unlimited content. And then this part 3, when and how. Often, always, video, lives, articles, lives, videos, talk, get out and share the message that burns in here. You will self-curate your audience. If you're posting every day and someone's like, I hate Alec's face, guess what they do? They stop hanging out with me. That's good. Like, that's awesome. Would I rather have a bunch of people hanging out with me that don't see the world like I do and don't believe this stuff? And like I try to lead with optimism. I try to lead with enthusiasm. And someone's like, I don't like that. Okay, I'm not your cup of tea. Good. But for everyone that closes out and mutes or deletes or hides you because you post too much, if you're passionate and you believe, what happens is you gain so much more. You gain so much more, and you don't want that person to begin with. It's the same way with real estate professionals. When I was prospecting, the same thing for you. The harder you prospect, the more you meet, the more you build relationships, the faster you come to the point of, I don't like this person or they don't like me. And then I don't have to waste my time with them anymore. Neither do you. But you got to be focused on the passion of your message. If you're like, oh, Alec, like Gary Vee. Gary Vee says to post 64 times a day across 4 or 5 major platforms. I'm like, whoa, 65 times a day across all these platforms? Like, that seems crazy. It's only crazy if you think what you say doesn't matter and you're not like burning from the inside to share the stuff that you're passionate about. Then yeah, then it's garbage. It's absolutely garbage. And there are people that are falling into that trap right now, and you're watching their stuff and you're like, it's garbage. I hate it. It's garbage. That's because they're trying to do a script that somebody else told them to do. Yeah, Josh, but that's the thing, right? Like, they're operating off what someone said to do. You have to post every single day. Okay, I'm posting. No, you idiot. No, that's not how it works. Post every day things that burn in your soul and is the reason you're in this business. Then people will reflect and see it and engage. They'll feel the heat coming off the video. And they'll want to be involved. They'll want to know what's going on. But again, remember, 80% of the people who are going to get fed your content are going to see it and not like and not engage. They're going to it's going to go right by them. which is perfectly acceptable. Remember, take a lesson. Take a lesson from these trillions of dollars in this industry that is spent repeating content and pounding you with it, because they know you're not going to just like see the commercial and be like, oh yeah, Geico. Yeah, it's stuck in my mind now. Good. Take a lesson from the people that are professionals. All right, my friends. Last series is tomorrow. I mean, next week, Tuesday. We are going to go in to the final part of the Dig In series. And we're going to talk about why do this at all. Now, arguably, some people could have said, hey, why don't you start with why do this at all and then go into what and where and how and all that stuff. But no, we're going to do the why at the end. And we're going to kind of go through the whole process and launch, hopefully, a lot of you out into a actual strategy about this space, an actual thing you can do over and over again to drive forward in this digital space, because this is not going anywhere. This is where we are. And even as COVID opens back up and we become more, we can see each other and hug and all the fun things, guess what's not going away? This box. It's not. It's where business is happening now. It's where relationships are building now. It's your opportunity to play big in this space and absolutely dominate it in the fun way. I'm blurry again, but that's what live is. Who cares if I'm blurry? Who cares if the thing doesn't work? Who cares? All that matters is that you heard me today, which means when you put out this message and you're talking to people, someone's going to hear you too. Have a great day, everybody. See you on the internet.